Hey y'all, welcome back to the 4th episode of Happenings with Steve. And folks, we got a special guest in the studio with us to help kick things off. Congressman Dale Strong, thank you so much for being here.
Steve, it's great to be with you again.
Well, I have to say I wasn't surprised because I know how you are with me. If I ask for something, you're usually pretty quick on this, but I wasn't expecting to hear from you within hours and say, do you want to do it tomorrow or whatever. So I appreciate it, appreciate our friendship. And it goes back a long way.
Long way. Known each other a long time, no doubt. Our families, you think about it, your parents, my parents knew each other, your uncle, my father were in the National Guard together, and I'm just telling you right now, a lot of great memories.
Mm-hmm. Yep, my Uncle Kenneth that was whenever I think about Monrovia, I think about my Uncle Kenneth and Rex and his father and all them at your father's store.
That's great.
And just sitting there, the farmers and everybody, the community kind of had their place there at Strong Shop Easy.
That's right.
And the very first memories that I have of you were standing on a stool working that register. And I don't know how old I was. I was probably a teen, I don't know. But you couldn't have been more than 6, 7, 8 years old, I don't know. But you were standing on that stool operating that cash register, and there was no nervousness about you. You would just, you'd carry on with those farmers or whoever it was at the cash register, and it just amazed me.
You know, you think that's where it all started. I mean, we all had to work. You think about it's a different community than we grew up in, but I'm proud to have people come up and they're like, man, I used to come in your family's small business, and we had 2 of them, but I think that's the unique thing about me is I learned the ability to manage a small business, understood payroll, and I've signed the front of a check rather than just the back of one. And I think that's offered a new perspective, and not only in local government, but even in Washington.
Yes, and the whole Monrovia Fire Department at the time. That was right next to your dad was, I guess, the first fire chief?
Oh, yeah. My dad served as, was a part of a group that started Monrovia Volunteer Fire Department in 1965, unincorporated Madison County, and a little community called Monrovia. And if you 85% of our volunteer firefighters throughout America are volunteers, and so you start thinking about it. But that right there was the start of something that little did we realize where it would be today. I think that department today runs about 2,500 calls totally as a volunteer fire department, but it made an impact in our community, and had an opportunity as an emergency medical technician, as a firefighter, worked as a 911 dispatcher, and touched a life or 2 along the way.
Yes, I've seen them. I remember the famous picture of you. I remember watching the news and the tornado that hit on the airport road, and you bringing somebody out, I believe it's on their shoulders or something out of that. And I said, there's Dale.
That's right. 19 years old, November 15th, 1989.
Wow.
About 5:30 that afternoon, and I was assigned to the useless overpass on the Parkway, which is one north of Airport Road. So that tornado came close and personal to me. 21 people lost their life. I've never seen that many fatalities since that point. But I'm just telling you right now, it's a miracle that it didn't kill more. But I think that we're better today, and that's something that I'm actually working on in Congress. You look at it, one of the major radars that we get our tornado warnings from is the one in High Top in Jackson County. And that radar is more than 25 years old. And some you might have saw in one of our committee hearings, I'm bringing the National Weather Service and saying, look, our community here, Morgan, all of North Alabama depends on that radar, and we've got to get the next generation radar whenever those are ready. I want to be sure that High Top gets one, but then I want to go a little bit further. Tupelo, Mississippi has a high elevation, and so if we can add another one of these next-rad radars to Tupelo, Mississippi, that's going to help North Alabama, Northwest Alabama, and it will better cover all of North Alabama, Northern Mississippi, and Southern Tennessee.
Yes. Well, I always, whenever I hear Tupelo on something like that, I know I better be paying attention because I know it's coming our way.
That's right. So
I was going to recap of kind of what happened this weekend, and then I mostly want to hear what you said. Well, this past weekend we had Tomato Day at the farmers market I always enjoy my good tomatoes, but we had Farmers Day. We had Wet Dog Triathlon.
That's right.
And then the second Saturday of the month, we have a recycling thing that they meet, and everybody does they can bring recycle items like chemicals and things like that there. So we had a great weekend for that. But I will most want to hear what Congressman Dale Strong has done in July, because I know you've had some really great experiences.
Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned the different things going on here in Decatur and Morgan County. I think that's what makes this community special. I know you and I have gone to a bunch of pancake breakfasts together and things of that nature, but that's what makes this community what it is today. But if you look in July, one of the things that I think sticks out is when I got to D.C., there was one thing. We have more than 40,000 veterans in the 5th District of Alabama, so we don't have Veterans Day anymore here. We have Veterans Month. And the one thing that we didn't have within 100 miles of North Alabama is a veterans cemetery. So we started working immediately when this community sent me to Washington, D.C. I said, man, there's got to be a way to solve this. But what I found out is there hadn't been a new veterans cemetery opened in years. No funding for new cemeteries. We
communicated the United States?
In the United States as a whole. And
wow.
So what we did is communicated not only at the local level with Governor Ivey, but also at the federal level. And what I did is I sought $13.5 million to bring a veteran cemetery to North Alabama so our veterans would not have to go to Tennessee or south of Birmingham. It took a little while, but in recent weeks was made aware through the VA committee that for the first time in many, many years, they approved money for a veteran cemetery and $13.5 million from the federal government. And then Governor Kay Ivey matched it with $25 million. We're going to have $38.5 million. We're purchasing 150 acres in North Alabama, and that should cover our veterans for more than 150 years.
It's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
So awesome.
I know that I was given very little encouragement that would happen, but our veterans, it's just more than deserving, and the least
Absolutely.
They can do after serving this country is to be able to be buried close to their family here in North Alabama rather than having to go south of Montevallo to do that, or to Tennessee or Mississippi.
Yes.
And so that's the thing. It was a team effort, and I'm thankful for the state. I'm thankful for the federal government. Congressman Morgan Luttrell, a decorated Navy SEAL, had a twin brother, Marcus, that they were both Navy SEALs. The movie Lone Survivor was written about Marcus, but Morgan is actually on the VA committee, and that's the guy that really helped make that $13.5 million available.
Wow, and I'm sure Senator Orr helped a little bit with the Alabama side.
Everywhere we go, our delegation, let me tell you something, our delegation here in North Alabama, from Senator Orr, just go down the list. We've got a dynamic group of people representing North Alabama and the partnerships. I know that we're on the phone constantly because it's a lot of distance between D.C., Montgomery, and D.C. and Decatur. But the big thing is our delegation represents us well, and I think it might be the best delegation I've ever seen here in the state of Alabama, especially the men and women that represent us in Montgomery.
Well, I'm privileged to know a lot of them, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. I was so thrilled once I heard you were running, and like so we have some great people that I know personally with Representative Parker Moore. I've known him well before he became representative, and Senator Orr, we had him in here just a week or two ago, and we have. I have some representing the Senate from your area. That's the pharmacist.
Oh yeah, I tell you right now, it's we've got it's a very diverse group that represents this area, but that's exactly what our what North Alabama is about. You start looking at it, about 60%, greater than 60% of the population of Alabama is actually from Shelby County north. But you start looking here in the immediate North Alabama area, or the I represent 6 counties and 41 cities in Washington, D.C., more than 250,000 people, more than 750,000 people in Washington, D.C. But the communication between D.C. and our local elected officials, our city council people, your local mayors, I think that's where we make a difference, because we're constantly in communication, wanting to know how we can make things better. And it's worked for our community. You look at the jobs created, that's also a team effort.
And I've talked to them. They're very proud to have you down there, because before we weren't kind of having that rapport with Washington. Let's break into the next segment in a minute, and let's hear a word from our sponsors. Well, I'm proud to be here today with Jeff Johnson with Rental World. I started working with Jeff, I believe, back in 1994 or so, whenever he put up they put up the tents for the Spirit of America Festival. Y'all do many festivals?
Yes, sir. We do lots of festivals, do lots of backyard parties, weddings, not many weddings, but we do weddings.
You had the tents. What size are your tents?
We go from a 20 by 20 up to a 40 by 120.
And then I've got the tables,
chairs. We'll bring it out, set it up, and all you got to do is enjoy.
There you go. So Congressman Strong, tell us, for anybody watching that's new to this district or maybe don't realize how that works, tell us what all you cover in our neck of the woods here in Morgan County and this area.
Well, you look at it, the district spans practically from Mississippi to Georgia. I've got 6 counties and 41 different cities. So if you break it down by counties, I represent Lauderdale, Lawrence, Morgan, Limestone, Madison, Jackson, and like I say, every city there in between. And it's worked out good. I think there's a lot of commonality there. Very diverse work group there, and I think that it's worked. But even some of our smaller cities, I mean, you start looking at Eva, you look at Decatur, Hartselle, Priceville, you just go down that list. It's a lot of great folks. And I think that they like that personal touch that I bring to it. I've been in the district for a day or two this week, and let me tell you something. I've been in 3 different counties today, and I think that people appreciate it when they see you in boots and blue jeans, and they understand that, hey, you truly care about their community. But our workforce is what I think sets us apart. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you start looking at what all goes on here in Decatur and Morgan County, from the different steel manufacturers and things of this nature to you got defense contractors here. I think the balance of that has made Morgan and Decatur a lot even more strong, and I think that works good for the community.
Yeah, I think you're doing something for Eva and Priceville.
That's right.
Priceville post office or something. What was the deal?
We've got some issues now with the United States Postal Service, and actually I'm going to have them do a review or an investigation of the post offices in North Alabama, because we need consistent delivery. We need to know if they're staffed at the appropriate level, but sometimes they're waiting. But you look in Priceville, they had a sewer issue that the mayor and their city council said, man, I don't know if you can help us with this. And we were able to help with that. Expanding sewer lines to protect our drinking water has worked out well for us. You look at Lawrence County, we did some of the same thing there. And then you start looking at law enforcement, which is dear to my heart. Firefighting, you've got a phenomenal firefighter academy here in Decatur. I visited it twice since I've been in the United States.
In here last week,
doing a phenomenal job. And I'm just telling you, and training people not just from Decatur, but from all over North Alabama. If they've got a spot or two that are open, Decatur understands, hey, we can train others, and it benefits our community. And so that's gone well. But again, those are a couple of things there. But we've been able to help. We're working on a project with Eva right now. And again, you never know in these projects. What I try to do is just to be sure that these different cities and counties know the grants that are available that can come back to your city. I can't apply for them. It has to come through the mayor. It has to come through the city council. It has to come through the police chief, fire chief, water department. But what I generally do is when I find out about those projects, I put a personal handwritten letter endorsing their projects, and then also I'm on the phone a good bit with the different folks that make those decisions. Of course, I serve on appropriations, which is one of the top committees in Washington. As a sophomore, I never thought that I could have got on appropriations as a sophomore, but you start looking. I also serve on Homeland Security, and then I'm a vice chair, or I'm a subcommittee chair of Emergency Management Technology, which offers some stability to our local folks in law enforcement, in the firefighting. And so what I want to do is just say, look, it's available there. Why not bring it back to the 5th District of Alabama?
Amen. And you've done a phenomenal job under all of those.
That's right.
And we appreciate you, all you're doing. One thing that everybody wants to know, obviously, is the roads and infrastructures. You got a lot of things going on. I know, like the Bibb Garrett road that turns into Airport Road right there to the top. That's in city limits of Decatur, or bordering the city limits of Decatur. And then, of course, you just had a big thing with the bridge
right.
for the bridge study. Everybody's interested in the bridge study, and kind of bring us a little bit. And kind of people say, "Oh, you just did a study," but I don't think they understand how many studies and all how this works.
That's the thing. It's obviously a big project, and again, it's not just for Decatur and Morgan County. That right there is truly a regional project with as much traffic that comes across that bridge.
Coming from Memphis.
So your leadership here locally has been very adamant that they needed additional money to study, to number one, find exactly where the bridge needs to go, what the environmental conditions are, and what would be a probable cost to build it. Because at the point this bridge is built, it's going to take local, it's going to take state, and it's going to take federal dollars. So they just said, hey, keep your eyes open if you can get some dollars there. I know your local delegation here was able to find some state dollars, talk to them. And I said, well, we'll find out whenever we vote on this budget. And what was unbelievable is I had $3 million in there to assist with the study and to evaluate that bridge and to see the location, environmental concerns, and to find out where the most cost-effective place to build it. And so that worked out good. But that's a $3 million returning the taxpayers of this community's dollars back to this area, and we're one step closer to that project.
Great. That's just great. You and I were chatting a little while earlier. I represent some people at Hillsborough Feed that's in Courtland, and I've got a dear friend, Roger Felkins, that lives in the Courtland area. And you were telling me that we've got some big news coming from Courtland.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you start looking in Courtland, Lockheed Martin has just came into the Courtland community. And you've got an airport that's there, and I'm telling you, they have been welcomed with open arms. And what a lot of people might not know is the United States is moving forward with hypersonics. But what many people might not know is Courtland and Lawrence County, Alabama is a huge part of that. So you've got a lot of people working together. Those jobs are from Lawrence, Morgan, and another 200 jobs just last week. Were announced, and I think there's many more to come, but the research is being done there to keep this hypersonic missile so that it can stay cool over a long distance at a rapid rate. America's technology is unbelievable, and our warfighters better because of it. But I think that Courtland is in a great position, not only for today, but also for the days ahead.
That's great news for Courtland and great news for Decatur.
That's right.
And Lawrence County and Morgan County, because I'm sure in Courtland there's a lot of people that will live here. That's right. In Decatur and
well, Steve, you
shop here.
Yeah, you know, like I do. When we lost that paper plant there, that was devastating to those people that had spent their lives working there at that paper plant. And so it was a collective effort from the state, from the federal level, to say, what else can we do here to maybe fill in where we lost some of those jobs? A lot of agriculture there in Lawrence County also. Mm-hmm. You start looking at First Solar is there. You start looking at the barrels for Brown Foreman. Many 2,500 a day are made right here in our backyard. But it's a partnership, and that's the thing that we've seen. It's worked out well. We're doing a better job of communicating the capability of our community here in Decatur, Morgan, Lawrence, because it's a team effort. It's not individual effort. It's everybody working together. While you might have some traveling to Huntsville for jobs, there's many many people from Madison to Huntsville traveling to Decatur and Morgan County for good paying jobs. What we've got to do is to keep this working together. We got to keep that momentum going in the right direction, and all of us will be better because of it.
Yes, and I think that's one big thing that we didn't have for years. And I remember Mayor Bill Jukes was always pushing. He had a mayor's group, and they had a mayor's group. He said we're always stronger together. And at times it seemed like before all of that, you had everybody so wanting this for their community or their city, and they were all like fighting against each other. And I think they realize now we need to do it together.
Well, Bill Dukes was he was a pillar to this community. But when he spoke, people listened, and I think that's the thing. You have to offer stability. Making some of these decisions are harder, but what I will tell you is I think that we're positioned very well right now, especially with the leadership we've got in Montgomery and what we're building in Washington. You look at Coach and Katie, Senator Britt, Senator Tuberville, what we're doing there, and then the 7 members of Congress. We meet all the time working with projects. And I always tell people, man, I don't have a district. If I can help, I want to be a part of it. But the people of the 5th District have been very appreciative of the direction that we've taken it, that we've been very attentive to their needs, whether that's our veterans, whether that's those that have had issues with federal services. We've got it at the forefront, and what we're doing is pushing forward, and the people I think they appreciate where we're going with it.
Oh, I think they do. I know they do. Let's go to a little break here, but I want a little challenge for you here. I'm just going to put you on the spot. You don't know. I said, if Senator Britt or Senator Britt's office happens to be watching this, I think your 2 offices need to have a little Alabama-Auburn thing going this next year for the you know how like the governors.
Oh yeah.
I think y'all need to have y'all a little bet thing or something. I don't know what y'all have to.
Well, I'll tell you, the majority of the people that work not for me, but work for me in my office, they're Auburn, Alabama. It's competitive, and I can tell you this right here. I actually spent some time. Nick Saban was in D.C. and Coach called, Tuberville called and said, "Hey, let's go to breakfast." We get there, and I'm just telling you right now, it's probably a highlight being able to spend an hour and a half there talking about all the different games, Auburn versus Alabama. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people throughout the country understand this rivalry, but it's a healthy rivalry,
yes.
But also educate the education that goes on there so that we can recruit people to North Alabama to fill these high-paying jobs. And I think that it makes our state better.
Yes, I always have good fun with my sister. I had it with my mother. They were big Auburn fans, and we, so like you said, it's a huge rivalry. Most people in most states don't understand. But
right.
Half of my family was Alabama, and half of them was Auburn, and we always had that good fun rapport and kidding each other back and forth.
That was
with
the same
Stephanie.
with me.
I think Stephanie, my sister Stephanie's in your Sunday school class.
She
I
is.
believe.
We go to the same church, but the other thing is, think about this, Steve, and I know you know my brother and sister. My sister went to Alabama, and my brother went to Auburn.
Oh, I forgot Kelly went there.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, we had a house divided, but we weren't divided, but one game out of the year.
I forgot all about Kelly going.
That's
there.
right.
I remember whenever I would go to Mount Zion, I still remember seeing the signs up on the little board up there that they had. It was like 200 and something people in Sunday school, right. And they'd say how much the last week's offering was. And Mount Zion Baptist is how many people do they?
It's right at about 2,000 now from a sleepy Baptist church. But man, it's grown over 100 years, and I'm just telling you right now, it is interesting. But that's where you think about it. Growing up in the youth program there, and I think about it. Phil Waltrip from Trinity. Was a guy that spent a lot of time with our youth program. Every summer, Phil Waltrip would go with us, and you look at the ministry of Phil Waltrip from this community. I celebrated with him, I think, 40 years in the ministry, or might be 50.
Phil Waltrip is an awesome
He is great, but he represents Morgan County and represents our Lord every day.
Yeah. I remember some of the highlights of my summers were whenever I went to, I would stay sometimes like a week or the weekend with my Aunt Lorraine.
That's right.
And they're right there in the heart of Monrovia. And my favorite thing was getting to go to church at Mount Zion.
That's right.
And I would go to Sunday school, of course. And in the Sunday school class, I had the prettiest girl in Monrovia, which was Kelly, your sister, in there. And I had my cousin, Rex Vaughn, who's now
Chairman of Madison County
Madison
Commission.
County Commission. And there's so many people there like that you just, they grow up and they're doing these great things.
I was blessed to grow up there. I'm just telling you right now, it was more of an agriculture community growing up, but then you look at what has occurred at Redstone Arsenal Research Park, all over North Alabama, and I think that we continue to grow, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in this next segment, but
Yes.
You start looking at Space Command, Golden Dome, and the many other projects that have chosen to move to North Alabama. It's not by chance. They're moving here because of the higher education, the quality of education that starts at elementary, middle, high school, and then you look at the college potential. We're bringing people from all over the country to Huntsville for these jobs, and the U.S. warfighters better because of it.
Absolutely. Well, let's hear a word from our sponsors and we'll be right back. Do It With You Marketing would love to talk to you about any of your website development needs. We can start with a basic website for your small business or new business starting at $400 or $500, or we can make a more custom website with blogs and other local SEO optimization as well as AI optimization for the whole new world of being found on today's internet. Give us a call. So welcome back to the show. I know that I was really interested in the whole Space Command thing back whenever it happened. And we had it, and then we had a change in administration, and we lost it.
That's right.
And then I remember you came back, and you got in the office there, and that was one of the first things that you said about getting it back. And I told people, I said, if anybody can get it back, I said, they'll get it back.
It was a team effort, but I'll tell you this right here. What was unique about it is when I first got to D.C. as y'all's congressman, I said, let's do what's right for national security. And of course, I served 2 years under Joe Biden, and then I've been under Trump ever since. But there were 21 categories that were evaluated to determine, who was best for this. And what was unbelievable is the Secretary of the Air Force under Trump 45, Biden 46, and Trump 47, all three agreed that Redstone Arsenal was number one. 21 categories. Colorado was fourth in one of the evaluations and fifth in the other. And all of a sudden, it kept pointing back to Redstone Arsenal, that it was going to be more than $500 million savings to build Space Command here. Then when
$500 million?
$500 million, more cost effective because of the cost to construct and the cost to maintain. But again, it was one of these things that we just kept pushing those facts out there. And then I remember in a hearing, we had a 4-star general, we had the Secretary of the Air Force, and then we had another 4-star general. And I'm just telling you right now, one had kind of stepped out of line and recommended to President Biden that it go to Colorado whenever the GAO report was clear that that wasn't what was best for America. And here we go. I'll never forget getting a call. My staff called and said the president's requesting to meet with you. And I mean, it was a defining moment. He was asking about soil conditions on Toftoy Drive on that 60 acres where this is currently under construction. And I'm just telling you right now, I said, we can turn this, I said, that property is 100% red dirt, very little cut and fill needed. And when we did, he said, we're 3 weeks out from announcing that it's going to Huntsville. And then, of course, Project Epic Fury hit, which means we hit Iran. It was going to be announced that day, and it got pushed another couple of weeks. But you look at it, it's equivalent to 1,700 high-paying jobs with a 3,000 job spinoff. And what's great about that is those jobs are going to be, people are going to take these jobs from practically a 14-county region in North Alabama and southern Tennessee, because that's where that labor shed comes from. But I think we're up to the task. A lot of people gave us no chance, but you might remember that I was at the chamber and they kept asking, what are the odds of Space Command coming back to North Alabama? And I just said, well, I think it's a high probability. They said, what are the percentages? I said, let me tell you, it's a 100% chance Space Command is coming back to North Alabama. I had just met with the president 2 days before, and that's how I knew him.
That's how you knew.
That's how we knew him.
A little inside information there. Huh?
That was good, man. I tell you, let's do what's right for America, and we're going to be better off because of it. Because I know that we're up to the task, and our workforce is second to none.
Yes, that's outstanding. And we've got the Golden Dome. Tell me about the Golden Dome. I know I have a dearest friend who, he was a best friend growing up, and I know that he was involved kind of in some of that. And he was always going to Courtland, and I thought, what's Courtland got? But now I know.
You look at it, what this program is, it's a layered system where that if there's intercontinental ballistic missiles directed to America, you've got several different layers where you can intercept or destroy these missiles, and that's exactly what this is about. You heard a lot about America. At one point, media misled everybody, said America's going to invade Greenland. Greenland's population is very small. You look at it, 50 to 60,000 people. Their land mass is double the size of Alaska, but we don't want, that's the thing. If we wanted to take Greenland, we could do it with the Decatur ROTC. But what we want is an ability to take another shot at an incoming ballistic missile, and Greenland is the perfect location to do that. They are now understanding what the president has been pushing, and it's funny how their demeanor has totally changed. But that system is unbelievable. But another visit to the Oval Office with Mike Rogers, who is the chair of House Armed Services from Alabama. I remember in there after the president had announced Space Command, we were there for another meeting, and he said, "Congratulations on Space Command." He said, "But Alabama's going to get a bigger piece of the pie of Golden Dome than even y'all know." And this Golden Dome program is a lot bigger than Space Command. So we're fixing to have an opportunity to showcase North Alabama once again with our ability to do the unthinkable. And that's the thing. We're positioned perfectly. We know how to make a bullet hit another bullet, and what we're fixed to do is be a big part of knocking down any intercontinental ballistic missile that comes into America. And so our people are fixed to, we're going to showcase our talent here, but between those two, that right there sets us up not just for today, but for generations to come. And I think that our technical workforce is up to the task. You look at what's happening here in Morgan County and Decatur City Schools. We're preparing folks to walk straight out of high school and walk into a technical job. And then those that are wanting to go to college, they have the same ability, but these technical jobs are great paying jobs here.
Absolutely.
In our community. So they're going to take advantage of it. But the Golden Dome is going to be huge, and the fingerprints of North Alabama will be all over it.
Yes. Decatur City Schools has a career high school.
That's right.
And the whole high school is there, and college is not for everybody.
That's right.
And the people that can go there and learn those trades and come straight out of high school and get great paying jobs like that, and be an asset to the community, and be doing something that will protect us all. That's just awesome to think about.
You think about it from Lawrence County and the projects that are going on there, and then you start looking at Morgan, you start looking at Madison and Jackson, and I think that our school systems are they're ahead of the curve. They're preparing these young men and women for success, and they're walking out into great occupations. And I think that right there is something that we saw days ahead. Your leadership here in your school system is doing a great job.
Yeah, Dr. Douglas is awesome.
Yeah, these technical programs are setting up our youth for success in the days ahead immediately. You start looking at the PAC-3 Seeker Head project that's done at Boeing right there at Huntsville International Airport. There's a lot of people from Morgan and Decatur working on that. They're doubling the size of the productivity there. And I'm just telling you right now, they're hiring a lot of people straight out of these technical programs in our high schools to take this forward. And you look at that Pack 3, it's got a 100% kill rate, and that's what we want to do. We want to fill our clip. We can avert most wars by being ready, but then to have just weaponry that just dominates, and you pray you don't have to use it, but when you do, it's going to take care of business, and we're going to get in and get out.
That's the thing so exciting about Golden Dome is it's protecting.
That's right.
Coming in.
That's right.
I know my father worked at Redstone Arsenal on the Patriot Project and all that, and he worked in he worked with foreign military cells. And I remember at first he was representing Israel, and then next thing I knew, a couple of years later, he was doing it for Egypt. And I always thought that was, that was, 30, 40 years ago.
Our technology is so far ahead, and you just think, not just with the missile defense, but, it all started with Project Paperclip, which was the German rocket team. You start looking at rockets and propulsion. North Alabama is the propulsion capital of the world. You look at United Launch Alliance right here in Morgan County, Decatur. We're talking 4.2 million square feet under roof. That's the largest rocket manufacturing facility in the world, and it's right here in Decatur, Alabama.
The largest one in the world. And I think I remember at one time it was like the largest building under one thing.
We could definitely have Friday night lights there with some football. There's no doubt. I mean, if you've never been inside it, it's unbelievable. And I still enjoy when I come over here. I love seeing what's going on there. Of course, we used to be dependent on the RD-180 Russian engine. No longer. American makes its own, and United Launch Alliance is leading in that effort.
Yes. I think there's so many things that Decatur does and Decatur does well that most people just aren't aware of. One of them is we talked about earlier when we were talking about soybeans.
Oh yeah.
And I got a lot of friends and relatives that are farmers.
That's right.
There's Rex Vaughn, who's now Chairman Rex Vaughn. Of course, his family was in soybeans for years. And so we have tell us about agriculture and how that's being processed right here in Decatur.
You look right here in Decatur. Bunge is a huge corporation here that a lot of our farmers depend on them. They bring their soybeans here, and it's year round. It's not just during harvest season. They're coming year round. They bring them here by barge, turn it into oil. And what's unbelievable, I've toured it many times, and I can remember when the farmers used to stand in, they'd be there in line with their trucks to dump those soybeans out. But what it's doing is it's providing everything from oil that goes to restaurants and things like this all over the country. And it's just unbelievable. You think about it. It's right here in Decatur, Alabama. But
there's some famous name brands or something.
Oh, man, you look in there, Popeye's Chicken, whenever they took me into this storage area, because it when they make it, it goes out immediately. But you look at most of your restaurants are getting their oil for their cooking and things of this nature from right here in Decatur, Alabama. So you look at many of your donuts, you look at many of your chicken, you look at your hamburger facilities right here in Decatur, Alabama plays a huge role in that. And then the steel industry in itself.
Yes.
You talk about a diverse economy. That's what this area right here is all about, and they've done a phenomenal job.
Yes, and people say, well, y'all have got, the Decatur's got mostly manufacturing or whatever, but we may have a lot of manufacturing type jobs, but people don't understand the impact that these plants have nationwide.
Well, Steve, you mentioned whenever you were talking about Courtland, I went to a ribbon cutting there about 3 weeks ago, and what I think is even better than just these projects is they opened up just a huge new building. And whenever I spoke, I thanked Lockheed Martin because they used one of our own to build that building, which is Fike Construction from Decatur, Alabama. And so that's the thing that I always push is like, rather than just announcing these projects and programs, let's use our local people here to do these jobs. They understand the topography of the land. They understand what is needed. And I'm just telling you right now, just another scenario of where local businesses, where they're hiring local people from the Decatur area. And so
Fight Construction, I think, is doing a lot of stuff in Huntsville as well. There's
a lot of stuff.
Awesome people.
There's signs. I love going by new construction. You'll see the signs on the fences, and it'll see the different companies. But the Fight family's been here for generations, and just
Jack
glad.
Fight, you done well.
Proud of you, man.
So that's the other part that we forget about these things, and they got to be built or they got to be maintained, or local people here are coming in and, like I said, doing the construction on them or maintenance. And you just go down Highway 20 there and see all of these smaller companies that are helping maintain these bigger companies. That's why you see rental equipment places or others, and it's just tremendous. I don't think people realize the back part of these plants.
And we're blessed. We're a part of the Tennessee Valley Authority power system here in North Alabama, and you look at it from nuclear power to hydro to natural gas to coal. A mixture of all of it is how you have to do that. But you think about it, right here in our community, we're such a big part of that. But also, TVA's power is in many cases 40% more cost effective than a megawatt of power in other states or other cities. And so I think that's what has helped us economically. You're always working. They have a new CEO. We're trying to get some development there here in Decatur that we've waited a little longer than we thought. But the water here has blessed Decatur and Morgan County. And but I'm thankful for TVA. There's always a hiccup or two related to power, but the diversity of that system has made us stronger, and I believe that the power that it creates is second to none.
That's great. So one last thing. Let's talk about the FBI and the ATF there.
Oh, yeah.
There in Huntsville.
Well, you look at it, Huntsville or Redstone Arsenal is now considered the FBI HQ2. You think about it, everything that they do from training. You've got one side of the house that's classified as the boots, one side is the suits. But we do a lot. The explosive side of it through FBI and ATF working together. I think that's worked out good. You look at whenever the explosive device that was used or attempted to be used in New York, whenever the New York police, they said, where will this device be going to be evaluated? They said it could go to Quantico or it could go to the mothership in Alabama. I'll always remember that because the mothership is Redstone Arsenal, and was there a couple of weeks after that and walked into the lab, and you won't believe it was sitting right there where they had taken it apart to try to figure out what the thought patterns of some of these whack jobs are. But I think that you look at the presence of FBI, about 2,400 in seats right now, going to 4,500. And then you look at the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and I always say it ought to have an E on there because that's explosives. We have a go team that if for any reason a situation happens, not only in our country, but we've helped others, but explosives, we're experts in that. A lot of training goes on. You think of the Boston Marathon bomber. I hate to tell people, but that was solved at Redstone Arsenal with many of the people that live right here in this community.
Wow. And
so it's pretty unique, the expertise that we have. And the other thing that many people don't know is we do all the accounting for the Federal Bureau of Investigation right here in North Alabama. So that's good. But the diversity of our economy has made us what we are. I mean, yes, we've got the highest concentration of engineers anywhere in the country. But let me tell you this right here, we're able to make things here also. And I think that's what makes us stronger in the things of that. But Redstone is the largest employer in North Alabama. But for Redstone to meet its fullest potential, it can't happen without Decatur, Morgan, Lawrence, Lauderdale, Madison, Jackson, everybody working together. But I think that's the great thing about it is you see it in your local government, you see it in neighbors and the conversation. But we're offering jobs that your children, my children, they're going to be able to work here locally rather than having to pack up and leave and go somewhere else. That was my objective. I wanted to have a economic environment where if my children chose to come back to North Alabama, there would be quality jobs and a great education system to hopefully one day raise their children. I think that's exactly what we've accomplished.
Yes. And before we close it out, tell me about your last, what in July, what you've been able to enjoy the 4th of July in Washington.
Well, that was the thing. My wife, she said, man, I want to be a part of that. And so we were there. It was the hottest I've seen it since I've been in D.C. is 107.
Wow.
The 3rd and the 4th of July were just some kind of hot. And then finally that rainstorm came through late that night. But it was unbelievable, the volume of people that were there. Right at 500,000 people were there at one point.
Goodness.
Then you had the rain, but got to see about every fighter jet, every different kind of bomber that we have. The mid-air refuelers. We saw the aviation wing, the rotorcrafts. It was unbelievable. Our country was on display, and I think that it went well. Very little, if any, issues. But again, it was a great time to be an American. We're pushing some things related to patriotism. I don't know if we're pushing that hard enough in our country. We used to every morning have a prayer in school. You would pledge your allegiance to the American flag, and that's the one thing is we saw this southern border crisis that was created during the Biden administration. 15 million non-U.S. citizens coming across that border unchecked is unsustainable. And I think that those are things that we're going to continue to address. You look at it, a barrel of oil is now under $70. But what I want to do is continue to work. I want grocery prices down. That's the thing we've got to work. I want that price. If you want to go buy a pound of beef to do hamburgers, let's make that more cost effective. But again, the economy is doing well. Interest rates are down. I think another generation of Americans are fixed to get into to have that opportunity to buy their own home with interest rates down. Lumber prices are back pre-COVID. Sheetrock prices pre-COVID. I think we're this close to having another residential home construction boom, especially here in North Alabama.
That's great. I think one of the best pictures that I saw, we all had a great fireworks show there. I just can't imagine what it was like sitting there watching that fireworks show. But I saw a picture last night or sometime last few days that had the World War II veterans sitting out there on their area.
Touching.
It was taken from the back, and they were all sitting there watching. I think they watching that fireworks show.
One of those veterans was 107 years old.
Goodness.
And he truly did not look it, but he was a proud American. He had fought so you and I could celebrate that 250th anniversary of being free. And that's the thing. You think about it, we live in a free country that people are willing to die to come and have an opportunity to live this American dream. There was a lot of bloodshed so that we could be free. And that's the thing that I'm worried about. There's people here that say they want to be an American, but yet they're not assimilating. They're wanting to wave flags from other countries. Let me tell you this right here. I want to wave that American flag. I want bare flagpoles to have an American flag on it. And I'm just telling you right now, I think we're going in the right direction. I think our president's doing a phenomenal job, and America's finest hours are still ahead. I truly believe it.
Well, it's great to honor all those veterans, and it's great news to be able to know that we'll be able to have a veterans cemetery here that we haven't had.
That's great.
And to have it so that they've got their own place here.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody keep watching because we're fixed to get it right now. It's a beautiful piece of property, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to be something to be proud of, and I think our veterans, it's one of the top issues that I've probably had more response than many of the other issues that we've tackled, but I'm telling you, they're so appreciative that they're not going to have to go to another state are more than 100 miles away. And we've got a high concentration of veterans here that have served our country. And I can think of no better place to put it than right here in North Alabama.
That's so awesome. Well, we're about to close up these segments here with Congressman Strong. We'll end the show with Gordon Franklin and Emilio Sanchez telling you about some of the things that they've got coming up. But I want to thank you for coming in and taking time out of your Friday afternoon. You could have spent it anywhere in Alabama, but you came here specifically from Huntsville. You weren't just in town and stopping in, and I want to thank you that and appreciate it. I hope you were comfortable here. I think you were comfortable here with an old friend.
Hey, let me tell you this right here. I want to thank the people of Decatur and Morgan County. Y'all have been great. I believe we're getting a little bit better representation in D.C., but I couldn't do it without the people here that gave me a chance to be their United States Congressman. And again, it's an honor to be back here with you, Steve. And, you know, most of the time, whenever I go and do interviews, you'll see staff with me because that's just kind of how you do it. Whenever you called today and said, hey, have you got any time available? My staff said, all right, who will be staffing you on this? I said, I don't need somebody to staff me. I've known this guy all my life. I know your family. I knew your mom and your dad. Your sister and I go to church together. And I said, I believe I'll be able to handle this one by myself. But it's an honor to be with you, okay?
Well, thank you. And thank you again for coming in and taking time. And thank you for honoring us so in Washington. You made me proud because I was pushing for you in the beginning when you did it. And you made me proud. You went beyond what everybody I told you that you could do.
That's great.
Thank you, Congressman Strong.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank
good
you.
To see you. Yes, sir.
We'll be right back.
Do It With You Marketing is more than a website development company. We handle many small businesses in our area's complete digital marketing program. We will handle all your social media management. We can create blogs for your website. We do local SEO, and we have a new experience now for your AI optimization for the whole new world in digital marketing, where we can get you found where people are looking. Give us a call or check us out at diwym.com.
Welcome back to the Happenings with Steve show. We're here with Emilio Sanchez, my friend here from Calvary. And we wanted to talk about his upcoming event, which is Serve the City.
Yes, sir.
And with Calvary
Yes, sir.
Outreach.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So just tell us what you got.
Yeah, so this week what we're doing, it's actually a national thing. You know, many churches and I believe businesses do it also, but it's called Serve the City. So it's geared towards just that, you know, just giving back to the city, serving somehow. This week we're doing a weekly thing. So, you know, every day of the week we're doing something different. You know, yesterday was Generosity Day. You know, then you have like a Friend Day. You have like a Serve the Neighbor Day. You know, just serving, doing something for someone. You know, Encouragement Day. Send someone a text. You know, so it's something that, you know, as far as the church, you know, anyone can do it really. But as far as the church, it's something that everyone can be part of and not necessarily go to the campus. But the biggest thing is also this Saturday, which kind of caps off the Serve the City week, we're also doing some renovation at one of our parks here in the city, AC Banks Park.
AC Bank?
Yes, sir. AC Bank Park. And we're doing
some
some
where we could pull that up on the screen. At AC Banks. And tell us exactly where AC Banks is.
AC, let me see. I don't really know the address. I'd have to pull.
But that's all right. But
Is it not on there? Yeah, 705
Yep.
McCartney Street.
McCartney Street Northwest. I've been out there. I know where that's exactly where that's at now.
Yes, sir.
I think the ball fields are out there.
Yes, sir. It's kind of right across from what is that? It's not. Is it Gobble Fight Construction or the lumberyard there?
There's a gobble fight.
Yes, sir. Lumberyard. Yeah, it's kind of across. If you cross that way.
Yeah, that's a different part of where I'm thinking. But I got you. So tell us what you've got going on there. So I think you said you had a lot of hot dogs.
Yes, sir. So we also that week we'll be doing some remodeling to the park, you know, and so forth, remulching, a bunch of different things. We'll probably have about 100 volunteers.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. And then we'll have music going on and so forth. We'll be grilling 500 hot dogs, and that's for anyone that wants to come. We do have advertisement. We've been advertising for several weeks already. And then we'll also do our food outreach, which people are invited to that. They'll come there, and we give out food to the first 100 people that come out. It's non-perishable food. It's in bags or in boxes. And then we've got all sorts of different items that we also acquire that we give to the people. So it's just, we're serving the city.
Yes.
And we're combining it with our outreach.
Well, I think we had your last one a
Yes,
couple of
sir.
weeks ago,
Yes, sir.
where we had one over there by the Aquadome.
Yes, sir.
Where you were giving out bags and giving out food.
Exactly.
That's so outstanding.
We had a great time.
Those
partnered-
children and parents, you could just see it in their eyes how happy they were to
Yes, sir.
have.
We partnered with Johnny Jones, Moo, and Decatur Youth Services. So just a great time. We just want to, serve our city, but this week, that's what it's called, serve the city. We'll be in different. We'll also be in 3 different locations with snow cone trucks or ice cream trucks. We'll have a free ice cream for the first 50 kids that show up there. We'll have an ice cream truck in Athens at one of the sportsplexes there. Then we'll have another ice cream truck here at Delano Park, and then we'll have one in Sparksman Park in Hartselle.
Okay.
So we're just serving the city.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And this is a Calvary event, but I guess if anybody that wants to show up
Yes,
to help,
sir.
obviously,
Yes, sir.
y'all will
Yes, sir.
welcome them.
It's open to the public.
Yes.
Anyone that wants to come can come. The outreach is great. Remodeling the park, if you want to
Yes.
come, if you're saying, hey, that's something I'd like to do, just come and volunteer.
Yes.
Join
Yes.
us. We'll
And bring
start
the
at
kids,
8 in the morning.
Bring the kids
all
and
the
kind of
construction
show
work.
the
Yes,
kids
sir. Yes, sir.
how serving works and how giving back to the community works.
Yes, sir. It's a great family thing. It's a great opportunity for husbands and wives, fathers, that bring their kids and let their kids, rake some mulch. And
Yes.
just kind of, create that spirit of serving.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And working with people that you didn't necessarily have to
Yes,
work
sir.
with before.
Yes, sir. Just work with anybody and everybody.
Well, we so appreciate what you do for the city.
Yes, sir.
And especially what you're doing for this
Yes, sir.
community. We're going to have you back next week.
Okay.
And talk more about your missions and your
Yes, sir.
whole outreach with
Yes, sir.
Calvary and the Dream Center.
Yes, sir.
And some other things like that. And next week we got Moo back.
Yes,
He's
sir.
coming next
That'll
week.
be great.
And we're talking about the 30th.
Yes, the back to school
Back
jam.
to school jam.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be talking about that with him and you next week. But
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate what you're doing. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with Gordon Franklin of the Flashbacks Show Band. My favorite. Decatur Stories need sponsors. We need your help in helping share the Decatur story throughout our community. It costs just $50 a week to sponsor the What's Happening with Steve show, or we have category sponsors for $250 a month, in which we will provide you 10 to 12 videos to use on your own social media each month. Both are great deals and help you share the Decatur story.
Providence Cabinetry and Design. That's where it all starts. Come on in, bring your ideas with you. We can show you what's in the latest and the nicest cabinets that you could possibly buy anywhere. Everything from semi-custom to fully custom cabinets. We'd love to sit down and talk about your next project, whether it be a kitchen or a bathroom, and just sit down and show you and kind of put our ideas together and come up with a good idea for your home.
Welcome back to the Happenings with Steve show. I'm here with my friend Gordon Franklin, and the show of the year, he has them twice a year, and I love these shows because he plays my kind of music. That is my kind of music, brother.
Yeah.
And so the show is this Saturday night
Right.
at 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, yeah, we got a new start time. Normally it's at 7. This week we're doing it at 6. And that's for the people who want to get up and go to church on Sunday morning. So
There you go.
Yeah. Get
There
for
you
that.
go. So you'll be out 8 o'clock. If you want to go eat afterwards, and you're that kind of person, or if you want to go home, go to bed, then you're that kind of person.
Yeah.
So getting it good for everybody. Tell us a little about this year. Each show you have like
different beneficiary.
different beneficiary.
Right.
And this year's beneficiaries are
we're having American Cancer Society Relay for Life, and then Athens Ladies Civitan Club, which is focused around special needs.
That's
Most
great.
of these shows are always focused somewhere around special needs. It may be children, it may be adult, but it's
Yes.
also always focused around special needs.
Yes, and I always had some special needs gentlemen with me over there on the front row
Right.
that sit to the right, and they just love it. And
Yeah.
I've seen them out in the community at some things the Decatur Fire has
Right.
for special needs, and I see them, so I get to see them
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a
That's-
year now.
that's Robert.
And it's amazing to me how they remember me.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll start looking in, and then they'll say, then I'll do the drums or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Robert sings every song. He's been following us. We used to do the Children's Special Needs Prom in Decatur, and that's how I met Robert. And so we have several of those children that come to our shows.
So is he the one that does the drums? Robert's the one that does the drums? That's great. He would sit over there, and I mean, he's got them drums down. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And then Lane is there. I've always seen Lane at the show, so it's great to see them, and great to see them enjoying. I mean, they really,
Right.
really, you can see the joy in their eyes.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that you include the special needs as
Right.
part of each show like that.
Right, right. It's something we've been doing for several years. We started back in 2008 with Jordan Stover. We did a fundraiser at the Princess for her to get stem cell replacement in China. United States didn't offer it at that time.
Wow.
So she went to China. We raised $30,000 that night.
Man,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So tell us, for those that haven't been to one of your shows, kind of give us the genre, the type music, some of the songs that you.
This will be focused. All of our Princess Theater shows are retro type shows. We do weddings and corporate events, and so we play a lot of different material. But these shows are focused around 50s, 60s, and 70s music. And we'll do Motown, we'll do some disco, we'll do some rock and roll, we'll do a little bit of everything.
Yes, and I love it because you don't get to. I don't get to hear that kind of music much.
Right.
My fraternity brothers always gave me down the road about it because I love that 50s, 60s kind of music. There was a band called Chevy Six back in the day that did my kind of music. They even had their own record, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But I love that kind of music. And then it's not all your band. You have different people come in and.
Right. We have guests, some local guests, and then we have some out-of-town guests as well. So we've got a lady, Naomi Brown, that will be coming in from Birmingham. One of our regular singers, David Ridley, he's from Nashville. We have Trishonda the Bright Light. She's a lady we discovered over in the Huntsville market, and she's an outstanding singer. And then, of course, Sarah Robinson, who sings with Calhoun's show band. I was introduced to her through you, and she's coming in for this show. And,
That's great.
and I'm really excited about her because we're doing 2 really fabulous songs that we're going to feature her on.
That is
it'll
great.
It'll be one of them is a heart song, and one is a Janis Joplin
Oh, wow.
song. So I'm really excited about that as well.
She's just so awesome.
Right.
And there's a lot of comedy involved in it, some skit-like
Right,
stuff. So
right.
it's just a really, really great show with the intermission in between.
Right.
Do we have the auction, silent auction beforehand?
Cancer Relay for Life is doing a silent auction before the show. It'll end at halftime, at the end of halftime. And that's always good because that raises thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for them as well.
I bought a beautiful painting for my den
Yeah.
this last time.
Yeah.
So silent auction.
It's we're excited about it. It's the ticket sales are going good. We have a few seats available, so we'd love for people to fill it up.
So they get online. You go the Flashbacks Show Band on Facebook. You would go there and please like and follow their page so you can keep up with them. But that's where they buy the tickets. Through
Right.
that, they can find the links. And
Yeah,
it's
it'll
through-
send you directly to the Princess Theater website. If you try to look it up online, sometimes you'll get Eventful or something like that scalps the tickets and charges more for them. So always the Princess Theater, if you search through Google, is the second.
Okay, so Princess or the Flashbacks.
Theater.org.
Theater.org.
Yeah.
So that's your mission. Go get you some tickets to this show. I guarantee you that you'll make it as a regular on your list from now on. So who do you have in this year's show?
We have several people, several out-of-town guests will be with us this time. We have Naomi Brown that comes from Birmingham. She's an outstanding vocalist. Of course, our regular David Ridley, our male vocalist, he's a superstar. I love him to death. He's from Nashville. We have Sarah Robinson, who you introduced us to, actually, who is a vocal sensation from Calhoun's Show Band, I believe it's called. And she's going to do a couple of songs I'm real excited about. One's a heart song, and the other one is a Janis Joplin tune. And then we have a little 11-year-old girl that sings with us. She started singing with us 3 years ago, Cadence Owusu.
She's great.
She's going to do a couple of songs, 60s tunes.
It's like we're getting to see her grow up.
Yep. It's kind of my view of handing off to the future. Yeah. So we have a lady from Huntsville that we discovered. Her name is Trishonda the Bright Light, and she is an awesome vocalist as well. And then we have David Higginbotham, who used to play in the band several years ago. Russ Griffin, who used to drum with the band for 20 years. He'll be with us. And then our rhythm section is Mike Gunner, who is our musical director. We have Matt Ennis, originally from Athens. He lives in Nashville now. Dino Villanueva is our bass player this time. Nathan McCord is our drummer. And then we have Jeff Lopez from Birmingham who's going to do the sax and flute this time.
Well, it's a great show. It's a full show. We get to see a little of everything. And like you said, the 50s, 60s, and 70s, whether it's, a little bit of country, a lot of rock and roll,
Right.
and just a lot of the 60s stuff that I like from my frat days.
Yeah.
And
We're going to open the show this time with a Temptations tune.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always got me at the Temptations.
Yeah.
So you can buy tickets at through the Princess Theater.
PrincessTheater.org.
At PrincessTheater.org. Please take time to go to the Flashbacks Show Band page on Facebook and like and share that and follow them so that you can keep up with what they're doing. I believe you mentioned before that you are available for weddings and you have a kind of a different set or different genre and everything.
Right.
For corporate events, it's not the same thing. Y'all can kind of...
These are focused as a retro show.
Yes.
And then we do top 40 material.
Y'all can do top 40 or whatever it is that your group or corporate group or wedding wants.
Right.
They've got the people that can do it. This is just a retro show.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people get that confused and think that's all you do, but it's not. Y'all do a great job with the top 40 and other things as well. So y'all take time and let's get those tickets ordered and get them sold out. They got a few left. It's this Saturday at 6 o'clock, and you'll have plenty of time to get home. I mean, it'll be over at 8, so you'll have plenty of time to get home and get in bed so you can go to church next morning, right?
Right, correct.
All righty. We appreciate you this hanging around for this week's show. We appreciate Congressman Strong coming in from Huntsville and helping us with most of the show, and he gave us some really good things about what's coming to the future for North Alabama, for Courtland, and then a Veterans Park for North Alabama, first Veterans Park I think that they've had Veterans Cemetery in years and years. They hadn't had a Veterans Cemetery.
Okay.
And I've already talked to some people that said, "Oh, that's great news," because we were wondering how we were going to get so and so, buried.
Yeah.
And so that was great to have great news. So we appreciate you, and appreciate you liking and sharing our page, and also go to our YouTube show and join our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.